today's episode of the I Shreveport Podcast. Today's episode is very, very special in so many ways, in which you'll find out here shortly, as we're talking to the Shreveport Regional Arts Council. Listen, ladies, welcome to I Shreveport Podcast, and we're excited that you're here. Before we get started, I'm just going to ask you all to introduce yourselves.
I'm Pam Atchison, the director going out slowly of the Shreveport Regional Arts Council.
Sure.
And this is fast coming in.
Rebecca Bonnevier, incoming Executive Director for Shreveport Regional Arts Council.
Awesome. Let's jump right into this. Tell us, what is the Shreveport Regional Arts Council as we know it as SHRAC?
Well, we're the organization that serves as your arts arm to maximize access to the arts. Our goal is to be that organization that makes sure that all people in Shreveport and in Northwest Louisiana, and that's why we're regional, have the opportunity with no barriers to experience the highest quality art programs. So sometimes we produce them ourselves to make sure they can be free and accessible. Sometimes we're going to grant to other art organizations to make sure they're free, or at least the price is accessible. And sometimes we award grants to artists so that they can produce events themselves and make them where everyone in Shreveport can be a part of an art experience.
That's absolutely amazing. So you said the arms of art for the city.
Yes.
And so, in your opinion, why is the arts important, and why is it specifically important for Shreveport?
There's so many different, forms of art, and it's very important to our city because it helps people to be included. It helps people to communicate and express themselves as artists, but also people who love the arts, who love to enjoy the arts, performing arts or visual arts, the literary arts. We just had a program, Poetry Out Loud, which I'm so impressed with, to really, helping the young people to grow and to learn how to mature and being able to do the performances and write poetry. There's so many different things, but it really is, it's important to our culture.
Sure, most definitely. And when you think art, just being in school, right? In elementary school, you only think one side, but arts is so open to just so many different avenues.
Expression.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Film and dance and music and visual art and literary art and multidisciplinary art and culinary art and fashion
and people
art
don't realize
and
that
all of that
falls underneath arts.
Corey, I believe it was Aristotle who said there are only three kinds of humans:
Sure.
athletes, academicians, and artists.
Yes.
And when you think about it, sometimes even when we're watching television and seeing our favorite show, we don't realize that we're looking at artists who are actors or artists who are producers. So oftentimes we think of major entertainment and we don't realize that they started out in a community like Shreveport, and now they have made it big time as a more successful commercial artist, but it all starts right in your hometown, and we're so thankful that Shreveport loves the arts.
Now, you've been involved, Ms. Pam, for a long time. Why did you get involved in arts?
Well, I believe I was born, to the arts, and I like to tell people that I'm not that old. I was born at the Arts Council, but I had an experience very young in life where I was able to see how an audience responded to a dance performance. I'm very clumsy, will never be a dancer or an artist, but I love artists because what I saw was 2,000 people on their feet, crying bravo, throwing flowers on the stage, and feeling that they were completely transformed to a different place and time. And I think it's that magic of watching what happens when an artist has a chance to connect with an audience, whether that's on the stage of the Strand Theater, whether it's at the symphony when the cellist gets to stand up and take a bow, or the French horn, and the whole audience is up. But it's more than standing up for an ovation. It's about what happens inside when you were touched by the arts in a way that made you something different for that moment.
Sure.
I love that, and I will never retire from that magic making, but I am so delighted to see our organization be able to grow in a new way and pursue that magic from a different perspective.
Sure. Now, I'm going to ask you, Ms. Pam, what are some of the programs that are involved in SHRAC?
Well, we start off with the Art Break Festival. You spoke about being in elementary school and maybe thinking of art as visual art.
Sure.
But you know, Caddo Schools is really the only parish, the only school district in the state of Louisiana that offers the arts beginning at elementary school.
Really?
So Art Break celebrates visual art teachers and literary art programs and the music programs. And now with Film Prize, many of the high schools have a film program. There's a culinary art program. There's a fashion program. There's a spoken word program. So we start with Art Break, which is where our goal is to identify and validate young people who have a love for the arts. And then that's going to grow up to, I'm just going to take you to the next place, which is Art Space.
Sure.
When we talk about legends in our community and artists who have made it so successfully, William Joyce, Bill Joyce, who just won 5 Emmy Awards at the Emmys 2 weeks ago. He had 13 Emmys before that, and he's our Academy Award-winning film director and animation director. He's the artistic director for Art Space. So right now at Art Space through the end of March is an exhibition called Living the Unknown. Very timely. It deals with immigration and it deals with change. And it deals with, is the other side of the border better? And I'll bet you're thinking that we're talking about the Texas border, but we're actually talking about 3 women who immigrated from Iran and now are here living in the United States, what they left and what they found. It'll be great for everyone in Shreveport to experience. Then when we think about the arts, we think about public art. If you're really talking about accessibility, how can everyone encounter it? Then you have to put it out there on the street, on the bridge, on the buildings. So the mega mural, Once in a Millennium Moon mural, which for years, until 2 years ago, when the same artist, Meg Saligman, made a mural that's 2 feet larger. It was the largest mural in the nation, our Once in a Millennium Moon mural on the AT&T building. This year, thanks to the city of Shreveport, we will get to give her an upgrade and get that mural repaired and back in business for another 20 years. Then finally, I'm just going to hit the Bukowski Bridge of Lights and tell you that one of the things that has been a real identity maker for Shreveport and a way of connecting Shreveport and Bossier has been that bridge. We started in 1994. I was young and thin then, Corey. But in 1994, when we did that bridge, I could walk the whole length of it as many times as you needed. And it was done in neon by the most famous neon artist in the nation at the time, Rockney Krebs. Then that lasted exactly 20 years to 2016. And in 2016, the neon had just gotten away from us and people couldn't tell where was the art and where was the neon out. So it was removed to do the bridge repairs from the Department of Transportation. And at that time, an optometrist in town, Dr. George Bukowski, said, do you think by 2020 we could give the city 2020 vision? After all, I'm an optometrist. How about that? Well, it took us till 2022, but he forgave us and still gave us the money, and we were able to light the bridge. But I think what's most important about the bridge is that it's the people's bridge. Anyone can learn the programming of the bridge. We're teaching 5th graders, middle school, and high school students in Caddo, particularly in the Title I schools. So we're pretty excited about this access, making sure everyone has an equitable chance to be in the arts. And they are designing the lighting shows for the bridge. So, Corey, if you or anyone out there wants to reveal that they are about to have a baby and you want to share with the world, it's a boy or it's a girl, we program the bridge for those baby announcements. And we're doing about 4 a month, but they're very inexpensive, just $250, and it gives you 30 minutes of seeing the bridge, letting your family wonder, what will it be, and then finally the announcement. And we have not had twins yet, so I wanted someone out there who's having both a boy and a girl to challenge us. That's exactly right.
Now, how do they get involved, these young people, to help with this bridge?
Yes.
Is there a place to go, a number to call? How do they get involved?
We do have the website, and it's shrevearts.org, SHREVEARTS.org, and you'll find a link to the bridge to sign up for a light show if you want. You'll be able to see what's happening right next door in Caddo Common Park, and that's the final journey that I'll tell you about right now and just say, when the big fire of 2009 took our building down, an arsonist burned it. The mayor at that time was Cedric Glover, and he and Shelley Regal, your director of Public Assembly and Recreation, came to the Arts Council and said, stop crying, this is crazy. You're going to have a new day for the arts. And I would never have guessed that 2 years later we'd be moving into the Central Arts Station, which was our central fire station downtown, 1927 historic building. So quickly I'll tell you that the goal was always this thought, where artists are, people will follow. So we're working on that entire surround of 9 blocks. We call it Shreveport Common, and it's an uncommon cultural area. And the idea is that one day, very soon, it won't matter that you know what's happening. You'll just come to this area and you'll stumble upon the fun. Other communities have these small little niche cultural districts. They're not formal arts districts. They're more like Deep Ellum or in Dallas, or you might think about what's happened in Chattanooga or up in Little Rock. There are all these little, again, 4 to 9 block niches that you just know if you get there, there's the coolest ice cream. There's some artists out selling their work. You're watching a live painting and you say, this is where I want to be. And that's what we're creating.
Now,
as well.
Ms. Pam, you are a wealth of knowledge. And not only that, you're considered a legend in our community.
I don't go for legends.
Well, you are considered a legend in our community.
Well, thank you.
And so what led you to this point of passing the baton?
Well, I really believe that no one wants to outlive their purpose or their usefulness. And I have seen a number of people stay on just 1 year too long, and rather than an organization go forward, the organization stagnated. And I want to leave it while I'm young enough to keep doing it, to bring in someone who's not a baby, but by the same token brings 24 years of major experience with big name entertainers. She had Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
I mean, if she can do for the big names, she can do for our community and help make them big names. And that's really the gist of it. I want the Arts Council to have a reputation of being vibrant and dynamic and for all people. And sometimes you can just look a little older than you feel, and I want to leave a winner rather than, oh my goodness, will she ever get gone? So that's it.
Sure thing. So now you're passing the baton to Miss Rebecca. Miss Rebecca, this has got to be an exciting time for you. How do you feel receiving the baton from?
First, let me give you some interesting information.
Sure.
I was a baton twirler.
Oh, God.
Really?
In high school and in college. I was
Wow.
Miss Comet and things like that. So I'm going to take that baton and I'm going to twirl it. I'm going to light it on
Yes.
fire. So I'm super excited. I've been in the entertainment industry for 24 years. And like Pam said, there's been a lot of big events that we've been able to do and promote, and many of them in different arts,
Sure.
singing and performing with Cirque du Soleil and all of these kind of things. But one of the things that held me back a little bit was being inside of that building all the time. And I am so excited to be out in our community. I love Shreveport. I love being here, and I love being able to lift up and support our community.
Sure.
And whether they're actually the artists or the people that love art, I'm going to be able to help to promote that and help it to grow.
Most
So.
definitely. So tell us some of the projects that are in works for Shrek.
There's so many, but one that I'm so excited about is Epic Makerspace that we're working on. We're getting ready to open this fall.
Sure.
It's a very large building behind the Millennium Studios that we're working on right now, trying to get in place the right people to manage it and to lead it. And there'll be different areas of expertise that we'll be able to bring to the people. I'm excited about the fact that there's two different aspects of it. There's an educational aspect, and then there's an art aspect. And the educational aspect is where we're going to invite people from the community to apply and to be able to learn skills that will help them to get jobs.
Wow.
And so people will learn welding and what are some other areas? The pottery and
pottery. Southern University Shreveport is the partner on this educational arm. So they'll be able to provide certificates, dual training, dual certificates for high school students, and the associate degree, any of those tracks that someone might want to go on for a job in the skilled labor area. And artists will be able to make large-scale sculptures, like the trees in Caddo Common Park. That particular artist, Bruce Allen, did not have a place with tall enough ceilings and to make those 25-foot trees. So major artworks like that will be able to happen.
Right, right. 3D printing, all kinds of things. So cutting edge, really.
Sure. So what's your vision? What's your vision of the future of Shrek?
It's interesting because what Pam just described is what I'm so excited about, is just having a district. There's more to it, obviously. We have all these different regions, 9 different regions in Shreveport that we're going to be working, not in Shreveport, in the state, that we're also helping to promote the arts. But in Shreveport specifically is having an area that, like Pam said, people can just immerse themselves in arts. Inclusive. Everybody feels welcome. And again, whether they're artists that live here and live in the city, which we're really hoping, working with Downtown Development Association to help to develop our downtown area, but people living here and just immersing themselves in the arts. And I can just see that growing more and more. So,
how young do you see someone that you can pull that artistic work out of them?
Art Break is a perfect example.
Art Break starts at ECE, and by golly, when you see what those children do with an art teacher, that's phenomenal. But one of the goals of an arts council, and we're a national phenomenon, every major city has one, so one of the goals is to try to, once somebody knows they are an artist and they've been trained, that doesn't always mean college, it could be training as an apprentice, but once they've declared, this is what I'm doing, then our goal and role is to find a way to make sure they're working. Commissions, grants, projects like teaching at the Art Break Festival. So one of the big commissions that will be coming up, Corey, in the next year is that we are working in the Cedar Grove community on partnering with many of the leaders of the neighborhood organizations there. We meet every month. We call it Fertitas Monthly. And we have lunch and talk about the 100 years since Cedar Grove was annexed into the city of Shreveport. Wow. They were their own city for years. Wow. And their main street was 70th Street. So the leaders of that effort are Victor Thomas and Francine Brown and Versa Clark. And their goal is to commemorate 100 years of people, places, and events that have shaped Cedar Grove, and then what did they shape? So the fourth element is, what are the values of Cedar Grove? And we have a big community meeting coming up.
March 12th. It's a Tuesday evening from 5 to 8 p.m. And we're going to, what do we call it? Red beans and rice for your advice.
That's right. So anyone who's from Cedar Grove, lives in Cedar Grove, knows about Cedar Grove, has a relative in Cedar Grove that you believe has made an impact in Shreveport because they're from Cedar Grove, come and have red beans and rice and give us your advice.
A.B. Palmer Park.
A.B. Palmer Park.
Yeah.
I got you. So, how can artists get involved in Shrek?
Perfect. Well, first of all, again, we do have a website that allows an artist to say, I'm here. Secondly, we have a directory for all artists to just self-register and say, I want you to see me as an artist. And that directory is called Culturalist, and it's easy found on our website. But we have quarterly meetings where any artist comes for a potluck and learns about everything that we're doing. Bring a little dish to serve 4 or 5 people. We provide the entree. And the goal is, what are all the commissions coming down the pike? What are the grants that are available? And get to know one another and form collaborations so that, again, you can be discovered and we can have an opportunity to know that you want to work in the community realm. Some artists are not as interested in community. They're studio artists and recording artists, but if you're interested in studio, Shreveport, and you're interested in the community, and our next one is going to be on March the 25th, Monday, March the 25th. Free potluck, any artist, anywhere in Northwest Louisiana, and you come and learn about what we're doing and let us learn about what you're doing.
Most definitely. And so the artists getting involved, then how can the public support SHRAC?
Please come to our events.
Sure.
And
how do they find those events? Is it social media? Is it
everything?
Definitely.
We're on Facebook, Instagram. We're not great at Twitter yet. We'll get there. We'll get there, I promise. And of course, our website. And then we do direct mail. So once you get an email from us, if you want to give us your email, your home address, we still believe that there's nothing better than getting an invitation in the mail to hold on to and see a work of art. But as Rebecca said, although money is very important, and we're going to talk about that, and hopefully in a second we have time, the fact of the matter is an artist needs an audience. That's what makes it tick. If the artist is performing, I am a great bathroom singer. I would never sing in front of an audience.
Of course.
I'm known for lip syncing in church. So the fact is, if you've put your life into making art, you have to have an audience to make it work. So the number one way the community can support is come out, applaud, see, experience. But we do have a biennial fundraiser, Christmas in the Sky. We like to think of it as an artistic immersion, although we don't think of it as, we are very delighted to have a community of designers who volunteer their time. Many of them are artists like Cadavian Baylor, Bruce Allen, and they donate their time to create 15 different sections of auction items at Louisiana Downs. So if you're interested in learning more about Christmas in the Sky, our theme reveal, which we have to hold very secret, and no, Corey, I cannot tell you, but on March the 5th, Tuesday, March the 5th, at the Central Arts Station, we'll have the theme reveal.
Sure.
And we'll tell you what we're going to be doing with the community. We have over 500 volunteers, and again, we can have you sign up on the website, come that night and sign up to help build props, costumes, sets, and turn Louisiana Downs into I can't say the theme, into a wonderful benefit for the arts. So we also encourage the community. It's a great show place for if you would like to donate an item that will become an auction item. So it's a great show place for artists to show their work, for all the new businesses to show their products and services, and we are so thankful because we have more than 1,000 auction donors who make that night so very special by giving the audience an opportunity to bid and to support the art. First of all, I love Shreveport because it is the city of possibilities. There is nothing we can't do if at least two of us do it together. I do believe that it is clear that no one can achieve anything on their own with no help. And again, the Arts Council has been so dependent on our relationships with the city, with the parish, with the school board, with Downtown Development Authority, with Bruce Allen, with Bill Joyce, with 1,000 artists in the community. But when you put that collateral together, we can accomplish anything as a city. And the second thing is that I love about Shreveport is that this is the home, the birthplace, the foundation, the dirt where Huddy Leadbelly came from, where when you start talking about we talk about the Fannin Street Blues and the, you're going to have to get me here. I'm sorry about this, but oh my gosh, Led Zeppelin, come on, give me the name. He walked on Fannin Street and got the idea for his record from Huddy Leadbelly. But there's so many musicians, there are so many artists. When you start naming one, your mind tends to freeze up. But the soil of this city, the foundation of this city, is very supportive of creativity.
Yes.
And I love being able to feel creative in this city.
Wow.
I would agree with that. I actually am from the north. And I came to Shreveport back in the 90s and was here for a time and ended up moving away because of a job, but I'm back here because I choose Shreveport. I get sad when I hear people say, oh, I want to move, or I want, they're excited to see what else is out there. You know what? This is a fabulous place. I choose to live here.
Yes.
I choose to raise my children here, my grandchildren here. It's because of the people and the culture, the inclusiveness. I just love this place. It's full of joy and faith and just so many things. I love Shreveport.
Awesome. That's awesome. Any last minute thing before we...
It was Robert Plant, by the way, who did the
There
work.
it is. There it is.
Just to say, so I don't get myself so much in trouble from all the Led Zeppelin fans. But I think that the most important thing as we end today is that the arts do not happen in a vacuum. They have to have an audience. They have to have participation. We do it for our community and with our community in the hopes that our community will also have that same joy of having a moment to say, I feel creative. I feel outside of how I walked into the room today. I might have been having a bad day, and now that I have met an artist, come face to face with how an artist expresses even those bad days. Artists can express it
Yes.
in a way that we connect with, and an artist wants to connect with an audience. And so for all of Shreveport to say, I love the arts in Shreveport, and I'm going to get out. I'm going to go to a Glow Fest this summer at the Bukowski Bridge. I'm going to go to 318 Day in Caddo Common Park coming up March the 16th. I want to be a part of that Cedar Grove mural and make sure my great-granddad is on it. I want to entrench myself in expressing who I am as a Shreveport citizen, a porter, and I want to do it through the arts. That's what we would love to see Shreveport love about the arts.
Wow. Absolutely. Any last minute things, Rebecca?
No, I just love the connection.
Indeed.
I love the connection and the inclusivity. I do.
Awesome. Well, Miss Pam, Miss Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us on the Love Shreveport podcast today. We appreciate you so much. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. I told you from the beginning that this was going to be very, very special in so many ways. We heard so much information. Then, of course, you're seeing now Miss Pam passing the baton to Miss Rebecca as SHRAC continues to be one of the beacon institutions here in our city of Shreveport. Well, again, thank you for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
1,